Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633. I'm back with another Star Wars review. This time we're going to take a look at the Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Hera Syndulla. Now she continues with the releases of the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series figures, and she is number 42 of the releases in the red boxes. It's weird that Hasbro once again continued with the red boxes, especially since we're going to another movie. It was understandable slightly since Rogue One was pretty close to The Force Awakens in retrospect, since it was only about a year, so they were just continuing with the product in general. But going on with almost 2 years with the same boxes is a little ridiculous. Actually, it's going as far as how it's going, we might even have a third year of the red box, so hopefully they change the boxes since it's a little bit tedious to just continue with the numbering system that we have now. Anyways, we're now take a look at the box. The box is in the standard 6-inch Black Series scale. Shows that obviously it is Hera Syndulla, along with a profile look. She is number 42 of the releases as mentioned earlier, and has a bio on the back as normal. So now, we're going to take a look at Hera more closely. Since she is another animated character that is translated into realistic form, I think she turned out really nicely, especially since this figure was actually delayed and put into the Last Jedi releases. So now we're going to take a look at Hera more closely. Articulation. The head is a little bit hard to move at times because of her long hair pieces. You do need to kind of bend over the shoulders in order to move it further out, but it may actually warp the plastic if you do that a little too much. She can look up just a bit and look down as well. These goggles are actually a separate piece. While they are molded onto the toy itself, these are an actual different piece, so that's really cool. She has the same ball hinged shoulders, ball hinged elbows. She's actually got fully articulated wrists with a little bit of movement up and down, but not by a whole lot. It gets a little stuck, so you're not going to get a whole lot of movement there. She has full articulation in the waist, so that's really nice, and you can ab crunch it a bit. She has ball joints at the hips, double joints at the knees, swivels at the thighs, but they're extremely tight on my copy. She has fully jointed ankles, and that's pretty much it for articulation. So it's pretty standard for a 6-inch Black Series figure, but it is nice that she translated pretty nicely into realistic form. Unlike the other characters, which obviously has a lot more of artistic differences, Hera, I think, looks almost like her animated counterpart, and that's because she is an alien race of the Star Wars species, and we actually have seen the Twi'leks in the live-action versus in general. So I think she translated extremely nicely into the Black Series form. She does include her little blaster, which is extremely small and can be easily lost. Unfortunately, it is a little bit hard to keep in her hand because of the way that the gun is molded, but she does have a little area that you can actually store the weapon there, so that's really cool that you can actually do that. And I think it stays in nicely as long as you kind of slide it in a little hard in order to keep it in there. So I think Hasbro translated this figure very nicely into the realistic format. Now, as a comparison, here she is next to Ahsoka. That was released a while back. And here she is next to Kanan Jarrus. So we're going to quickly bring Kanan over here. So it's nice that we got another character released in the 6-inch Black Series scale. We have one more character to add to the mix, and that is Sabine. So it's nice that we actually got all the female characters actually released in the 6-inch Black Series scale. And it is interesting that we actually seen all the female releases first, since unfortunately a lot of the female figures just don't get as much representation until really Star Wars, which kind of is pushing a little bit more for it than the norm. But it is nice that we actually got at least the female cast in the main team of the Rebels group. It is unfortunate we're still missing Chopper, Zeb, and Ezra, since they are obviously extremely important characters to the story, and hopefully, as the line continues, we'll see some kind of release in the future. So, I think Hera is definitely a worthwhile release, and unfortunately, while she did get delayed, I think Hasbro did a fantastic job in maybe doing any of the fine-tuning and the final touches in order for this figure to look as nice as possible before release. So, I highly recommend picking this figure up. Anyways, please comment and subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible. Check out the other channels down below, and please check me on Twitter under Darkon633. I'll be back with more Star Wars reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.